Good news in terms of higher education this morning. The Minister for Higher Education, Simon Harris, has announced €5 million funding to support and recognised exceptional performance by higher education institutions. They have also announced that they're working with South East Technological University, welcoming the Higher Education Authority's funding support of €833,000 in particular. This is in recognition of the university's work with Tiglin. I'm joined now by the chairman of Tiglin, that is Aubrey McCarthy from Punchestown. Good morning to you, Aubrey.
Good morning, Ciara.
So very, very exciting news for yourselves at Tiglin this morning. Tell us what this €830,000 funding will be going towards.
So Tiglin are absolutely delighted with the announcement from Simon Harris this morning. It is $833,000 of a grant aid to provide higher education supports for anybody availing of Tiglin services. So, as you know, you've had me on your show several times talking about Tiglin and about how people have come from addiction, have come from trauma, all different areas in life that they've been displaced from. And we know that education can be liberating. So over the last number of years, we have worked with IT Carlow, and we've sort of become a satellite campus for IT Carlow. And since 2016, we've been running courses up to master's level. And the South East Technological University, which encompasses IT Carlow now and Waterford, etc., they actually did a case study to the minister and said, listen, we've done this and it works and it changes lives. And so they basically spearheaded it, and they've allowed Tiglin to provide educational resources to all of our students. And what I love about it, Ciara, is it's delivered in a creative manner. So Ciara might do a level 5 or 6 or 7, and somebody else might do up to a master's level, and it bridges the gap that's often missed in traditional social care settings.
Yeah, this case study and what the Higher Education Authority have said is that with the South East Technological University, they're providing access to higher education to those participating in the Tiglin Addiction Recovery Programme. I know you've spoken to us before, but just briefly, Aubrey, let people know what exactly that entails.
So Tiglin, I set up Tiglin in 2008 and with a guy from Newbridge, Philip Thompson. So most of the Tiglin management all came from the Naas Newbridge area. And what we saw was there was a gap with people who had come undone in life, whether that's through bad behaviour, from getting involved in drugs, or just unfortunate trauma, taken into care, etc. So we set up an organisation, a charity, and it has grown in the last number of years. And recently we've partnered with Homeless Care in Naas. John Craddock came up with that idea. It's a wonderful idea, as we've discussed on your show. Gigginstown Manor has 12 apartments for young people exiting homelessness. And the marvellous thing about this grant is that each of those individuals will be able to pursue education under the guidance of the South East Technological University. So my own experience in education started with Carlow, which was IT Carlow, and then I went on to do master's degrees after that. So it's an exciting journey to
full
partner.
Circle moment for you.
Full circle. But also, Ciara, do you know the case study? They gave 4 case studies of students that had come through Tiglin that had gone on to do well in education. And one of those case studies was the manager of Gigginstown, Jay Bobanak, who you have interviewed on your show yourself. And his case study showed that he didn't have even the leaving cert. They put him through the level 5, 6, 7. He's now on his second master's degree. So it provided education in a bite-sized manner, and that enables the people to be empowered and progress through higher education.
And I guess, Aubrey, because Tiglin has been, making these services available and support since 2008 for those affected by addiction and homelessness, do you see the difference, I guess, from those during the early years to now with all these opportunities available and hearing about grants like nearly €1 million?
What I've seen over the years, health, well-being, housing, therapy, they're cornerstones of any solid and dependable social care service. But what Tiglin has done, we've provided an avenue with C2, which is the South East University, to allow education that builds a type of confidence, and the person can cultivate resilience, and it equips the person with abilities that lead to a higher quality of life. And really, a lot of them have been fearful of education, but this has allowed that fear of education to be removed. They've learned new disciplines through Tiglin and C2, and therefore they've engaged with recovery supports at the same time as being educators. So it's groundbreaking. It changes the way we do rehabilitation in Ireland.
OK, well, Aubrey, thank you so much for joining me this morning. That is Aubrey McCarthy from Punchestown, but he is also the chairman of Tiglin. And just elsewhere, plans have been unveiled to progress school leavers. This is from poorer areas into higher education as well. This is the €35 million fund. It's set to boost the numbers via bursary supports and closer school links. Most school leavers from disadvantaged backgrounds will progress to university under targets set out in this new 7-year government plan. At the moment, approximately 42% of school leavers from disadvantaged area progress to higher education. That's well below the average rate of 66% nationally, and 90% do in affluent area. Now, this new plan aims to increase the proportion of new entrants to college, university from the poorer backgrounds to 54% by 2028. And as Aubrey has pointed out there, education opens so many avenues, so many doors for people, and Tiglin are warmly welcoming the announcement from the Higher Education Authority for €833,000. That's in grant aid for the provision of higher education supports for those availing of Tiglin services.
All right, thanks indeed for that, Ciara. Thanks to Aubrey McCarthy, chairman of Tiglin, as well, for joining us on the programme this morning.